I bet you're wondering how I ended up in this situation. Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today we're going to be testing out some of the period flotation devices that would have been on USS New Jersey and other Navy ships. So, first up, we've got a kapok LifeJacket. Kapok is a fiber from a tree that can be used in a flotation device, and it's very common to the type used during World War II. This particular one is stamped 1949. It is not an artifact from our ship, so we're going to put it in the water and see if after 70 years it still offers any flotation ability whatsoever, and we'll see how it is as a design. Next up, we have a life belt. This is a belt that has a flotation device in it that you might use when you're working out on deck. This is obviously cumbersome, gets in the way. And this style I have seen in use in the 70s and 80s. It may extend beyond that. That's just when I've seen it. We have some great footage of Battleship New Jersey's Marines wearing these when they're operating one of the ship's boats in 1988 while the battleship is operating off Australia. So similar to this, this isn't quite as old, but we'll see how well it works. If I end up in the water wearing a life belt, if I can actually get the thing out of here and put it on and get it to inflate. So these are both not historically significant to the battleship, so they're not artifacts in our collection. They're part of our education collection. And we've got duplicates of both of these. So if for some reason they fail or get damaged by the chlorine in the pool, we're not too worried about losing them. So we're going to give them a test and see how they work. Well, first impression of getting in the water with this, my boots were waterproof, but now that I'm in the water, all the air is coming up through the laces and coming up the inside of the legs of my pants. I'm floating. Now the life jacket is keeping me afloat even though it is over 70 years old. Kapok life jackets are pretty notorious. They're only good for about 3 or 4 days in the water because of how they're made. It's this fibrous kapok material, and then it's a duct canvas outer wrapping, and then that's covered in wax to waterproof it. And if you're in the water for a prolonged period of time, that wax will slowly deteriorate, and the kapok inside will start to get waterlogged, and eventually it becomes a weight holding you down as opposed to a flotation device helping holding you up. Now, this particular one that we have that only goes around the waist is doing a really good job of keeping me floating right now when I'm conscious. But most World War II era life jackets, especially by late war, had a over-the-shoulder and wraparound collar portion, because what happens if I'm unconscious or if I try to sleep when I'm in the water for many days? Let's... Yeah, that doesn't give me any support whatsoever. If it had a... So I can either be on my back or my stomach. If I had the wraparound collar, that would keep my head out of the water. But right now it's all dependent on me staying awake and doing that. Honestly, I am 100% surprised that this not only still works, but it works pretty well. Another problem with this life jacket is, you know, modern life jackets, you've got a couple of buckles on the front that you do. This one, you've got to hand tie it together, and you've got these two metal clasps, one up here across the chest and one down at the belt level. And these are really tight metal to be able to clip on there. It is not easy to don and doff this life jacket in an emergency. So another downside compared to more modern life jackets. Oh, hey, if you just go on your side, it's so much easier. Too far. These are the tips you don't get in the Blue Jackets manual, folks. Alright, so at this point, I'm wearing the life belt. It's a simple web belt that goes around your waist and has a bag on the back that has an inflatable in it. And we're going to see if I can get that on after I've fallen in the water, which is the scenario that you're supposed to use this in. So, first up, you rotate the belt 180 degrees around your waist. It's got 2 snaps on the front. You pull that open, and then there is an inflatable in here. Hey! Okay. Save the hat. And, alright. So I'm not sure if this had a way to self-inflate at one time. I'm going to assume that that doesn't work now. So we got a air hole here, and we're going to see if I can self-inflate this thing like they tell you to do on the airplanes.
That might help.
Okay. Let's try this again. Holy cow. This thing actually still works. So, there is a nozzle here. If you push down on it, you can blow into it. If it's in the up position like it is now, it is not supposed to be letting air out. But if I want to deflate it some, for whatever reason, you can just push it down and you get the air out. Or when you're inflating it, you gotta push it down. Alright, so, like with the last one, here you can see this thing comes around my head, and I can't put my head in the water if I want to while I'm in this position. Also, because the belt sits on your chest, I'm a turtle. I can't roll over and face plant and drown myself in my sleep. I don't have any anecdotal stories of life belts in use. I know that during World War II, there is an older style of life belt that's also used, in addition to the K-pop kind. Very similar, rubber inflatable. But I don't have any anecdotal stories about how long it'll last, if it gives you more time than the K-pop style life vest, often nicknamed the Mae West, or less time. I can hear a little bit of airflow. That might be because of how old this thing is. Might be the nozzle here at the end. But this thing is past its expiration date, so the fact that it's working at all is incredible to me. So how it attaches. Around the neck and the belt itself are the only attachment points. And this belt is trying to ride up my back. It's not the most comfortable thing, and the fact that it's only got those 2 attachment points isn't the best. But it's just supposed to be an emergency. Oopsie, I fell in the water sort of thing. Let me put this on until the ship deploys a boat and comes out and gets me. It's not supposed to be something that you rely on long-term comfortably. And as far as something out of the way worn on the belt, it's pretty comfortable. I can do work with it, as opposed to if I'm wearing a full life vest while I'm going about my job. This would sure get in my way if I wanted to turn my head. So, as an emergency device, it seems to work pretty well, even at this point, minimum 30 or 40 years old. So this particular life belt and several others like it were found in a locker on one of the ships that we stripped parts off of many, many years ago. So these sorts of relatively non-perishable objects all are stored on decommissioned vessels. Every now and again you find treasures like these, and apparently the treasures still friggin' work. So that's cool. So, were you surprised as I was that both of these historic life jackets still work even though they haven't been maintained in decades? I was expecting to go under, and I'm pleasantly surprised I'm still here with you. So, Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate the support you've given us. It allows us to do really fun and cool stuff like this. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to continue supporting our channel and my habit. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing. That way more people find out about us and the channel. Thanks for watching. So, if you've just finished up a hard day of testing out the naval myths by the pool, you're going to need your own Battleship New Jersey beach towel. This is a replica of the sort of towel sold in the ship's store to the ship's crew during her Vietnam deployment. And we sell these in our store. There's a link in the description down below if you would like to get your own Battleship New Jersey towel to preserve some of your dignity.